Good morning. It is Monday, March 4th. Wah, wah. I'm feeling low energy for some reason. Don't know why. But I am just got the alert that I'm live. Okay, we're going to turn on Do Not Disturb. Going to monetize this mofo. Morning, Scott. Okay, we've got that. Okay. And we've got this 4-hour run. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Hit the thumbs up. Happy Monday, Jay Cesar. Good morning, John. I probably do. I had fish, salmon on Friday and Saturday. And I had eggs this morning. I'm not 100% plant-based. I'd say I'm mostly plant-based. God, Lily just hit 800. NVIDIA over 800. Qualcomm 164. Have I told you about SMCI? Taiwan Semi up another 4%. Oof. Thanks, JJ. Welcome back to everybody here. Let's do some scan. I haven't even gone into Seeking Alpha to see what's going on this morning, because this weekend I got so many alerts, so many catalysts to list this week, so much. I mean, just God. Morning, Chris. And we did have a successful Zoom meeting for paid members yesterday. Paid members yesterday got we don't want that one. We're going to look at Apple real quick. Apple's weak. Apple's super, super weak. It's not doing well. Oh, God. But there's so many scans. Disney, XOM, Taiwan Semi, Oxy. God. So much that's, let's see. Oxy. And meanwhile, Oxy's the only one in my brokerage freaking holding. I hold Meta, though. I don't know why it's not in there. Let's see. Covered call ETFs. Whoa, nothing there. Energy names. XLE. OIH. LNG. The list is long. Levered ETFs. Let's see if the bulls on levered ETFs took off, because I think, nope. We're already in most of those bullish levered ETFs. VTV, VIG, VXUS. XLE, XLC. My not owned list should have a bunch. I know C Limit is probably in there. Oh, God. Fiverr. VRTX. I had VRTX. Why I didn't... VRTX has been in my... end phase. End phase. ENPH. LRCX, Rivian, Applied Materials, and Realty Corp. Oh, this is the SPAC, or I'm sorry, the God, I can't even REIT. The REIT. I mean, at some point these come back, but JetBlue announces termination of merger agreement with Spirit Airlines. And Phil LeBeau is in studio. You know this shit was leaked to them, so he wouldn't be in the studio if that. And JetBlue's up 6%. Wow. I'm not even going to cover that. Yeah, and Chris, they're announcing their R2, which is the new pickup, the affordable pickup. Let's see. That is announced Thursday. I've got my catalysts. Monday, NVIDIA and Netflix reporting at the Morgan Stanley. Tuesday, CrowdStrike and Target earnings. Plus PanW AMD presenting at the Morgan Stanley conference. Plus SMCI will present at the KeyBank Technology Conference. Wednesday, Google, Intel, Shop, Uber, all presenting at the Morgan Stanley conference. And Powell testifies. Thursday, Cost, Broadcom, Marvell, DocuSign, earnings. Rivian will reveal R2, which is their reasonably priced vehicle under $60,000 for Rivian. The caveat is it won't even begin production until 2026 at the earliest. Expect it to go out even further. So, but Rivian, I mean, it looks like it's set to explode. I just don't know that. I mean, if they disappoint and they that does not go well. I mean, we've seen how well Tesla stuff has been. But here's the thing. I mean, what's interesting about Tesla, Elon announced the Roadster. I mean, maybe I should bring that up. Yeah, I think at some point that becomes VKTX. I think that becomes a purchase. At some point, it becomes purchase. I'll take a look at Rivian, though. I'll give you my guess. My guess is down. I do think it's a $30 stock, but you can't announce that you're going to produce the same amount of vehicles as you did last year and get a growth multiple or have any kind of multiple on it. I mean, it's just, that's embarrassing. WBD. Let's see. S&P. AMZN, Verizon, XOM, Meta, Disney. Okay. We got our scans done. So here. I got to relog in. Why are these things up top not showing? It's got to be something. Default workspace. Let's see. I just logged in up there, so log out. I'm going to log back in. We'll log back in here. We'll pull up. Let's look at Rivian. I mean, the Bollinger Bands here cinched up right before earnings. You could see right before earnings how it got the down. It was under the 9-day. You've regained the 9-day. Your MACD is down low. Your RSI is at 31. But the problem is your long term is still down. I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry. Thanks, Mark. I am full disclosure. I am. Oh, by the way, the elephant in the room. I am blonde again. I feel like a fraud doing VWAP. VWAP is something I typically don't use enough of, but stealthily, I do use volume weighted average pricing in these volume shelves over here. So, stealthily, I do use it. But, okay, let's look at the Qs. What do I have to... this... C limited. Oh, you know what? Let me look up a stock. I broke a rule on Friday. Rules are made to be broken. But I did break a rule on Friday in that Friday at 5:30 p.m. I bought a ton of SMCI. We're talking a ton of SMCI. And the reason is, and I put this into remove all. So the reason is, I will go over this in the podcast, but I just wanted to address the SMCI is getting added to the S&P 500. And I think I titled this episode, SMCI joins the S&P. Yeah. And I put $. Let me go and change that. Hold on. YouTube. Because I will forget to do this. Let's see. Oh, come on. It's not going to ask me to sign in again. I already signed in, douchebag. Switch account. We're going to go over here. We're going to go to YouTube Studio. I have to change the title. Live, I'm doing this. Oh, God. We'll go over to live. I mistyped it. Joins the S and P. Save. Oh, God. 3, 4, 24. Oh, 4 dash. Ugh. Oh. We'll just do that. Oh, well. Oh, it didn't include everything. Wow. Okay. Interesting. We'll get out of there. I broke a rule on Friday. See this shelf? That right there. At the beginning of this was, 1755, which is what, 455? That was at the point where SMCI was announced to enter into the S&P 500. I didn't see it break up, but typically this is a bullish, I think it was 5 p.m. it was announced. I didn't see it move. In fact, I saw it move down. It wasn't a huge, and it was Friday. So I saw it move down, and I said, it's putting in this 5-minute capitulation. I had just seen that it had moved. And I said, I think I want to, it may have come out at 4:30, but I saw this shelf. I forget where I saw the news, but I saw this shelf and I said, that's interesting. It's either going to continue up or it's going to continue moving. Now, old support becomes new, old resistance becomes new support. I've said it before that this one has resistance at 1,000. So I liked it to move up to 1,000. I bought at 980. I like it to use 1,000 as support now because it's going to open up at about 1,000. It might come down. I mean, it's been capitulating between 1,040 and 1,050 in the morning here. I think you see a big pop. Now, the reason I say that is look at how it closed at 900. That MACD is way down there. The RSI is at 59. This is a stock that is going to move. And just, hey, I think it's going to take off. So that's my take on it. So let's see. QQQ. We're opening up what? Even right in the middle of that channel. God, Apple's down 1.5%. It's hard to hold that much Apple. It's a tough one. I gotta hit show. I had to hit show because Duck's ass got the mods in here. It's an automatic YouTube moderator. Let's look at Rivian. And Mark, to address the VWAP, I felt while typing that one, I didn't. No, I mean, I don't think you wait, Scott. I think SMCI. Okay, and I was going to go through this, but I'll go through this because I probably will do a shitty job of doing it on the podcast because I'm going to rush it. Here's SMCI, okay? The market cap of SMCI is $50 billion. You have 47 million shares floated. Because they are included in the S&P, every ETF that tracks the S&P, whether it's equal weighted, whether it's market weighted, whatever it is, there are thousands of these ETFs out there. They need to buy SMCI. I don't know that they had SMCI, but they're going to have to split these 47 million shares, okay? When you go and you look, here is stock analysis. So let's go over, and here's the market cap. We've got it sorted by market cap here. And you go down to the 50 million, okay? We'll just go to the 50 million. Now, let's look at Edwards Life Sciences well, you know what? We'll start with 3M. 3M, which is an S&P 500 company. We'll go over here. Remember, 50 billion market cap, 50 million shares floated. And why is this frozen now? Come on. We're going to type in 3M. 50 billion, 500 million floated. Let's look at the next one. DHI, DR Horton. 50 billion, okay? 50 billion, DHI. You're going to look over here on the left. 50 billion, 200 million shares. Let's go down and look at the third one. Carrier Corporation, CARR. Okay. CARR. 50 billion, 834 million. So I don't know what's going to happen to SMCI, but you go down the list of $50 billion companies and they have hundreds of millions of shares floated. Now, this one only has shares outstanding, 52 million. So it's not like they're going to float more that they have. They have the ability to do one of two things. Either they will dilute shareholders and issue more stock. They've issued 2 notes already. I think they issued some stock in December. I'm not sure. But there were 2 dilutions. There were, I think they were bonds in December and in February. And now you've got a situation where they could do a split 10-for-1 and have 500 million shares. Doesn't need to be done. I reiterate this. This doesn't need to be done. But if this is a hype train, imagine the hype if SMCI announces a stock split. I mean, that alone may be just a crazy catalyst. So I want you to keep an eye out for that one. So, Scott, when you ask me, is it a day to buy SMCI? I think any day at this point is a day to buy SMCI. And, Scott, I know you've got Seeking Alpha. Go and look up SMCI. It's a strong buy in the quant. It's strong buy. It runs my portfolio on Alpha, on Savvy Trader. It runs the Alpha Picks stuff. Seeking Alpha analysts say it's a hold. This one came out Friday. Super microcomputer. Why I believe the show must go on. So, I mean, it's a great article, a great analysis of it. Morning, Pavan. I think Rivian's about. What kills me about Rivian, Chris, I don't think it's a bad stock. I think it's going to trade. I think it's just the valuation. Hold on. Okay. I'll put you under. You're a good girl. I know. Okay, you want to go under 2? Your friend's going to come over, and then you're going to start crying again. Don't take the blanket off her. Ugh. Rivian, it's what's funny is Wall Street. Look at Wall Street. 62% upside. The high is 36. There are 27 analysts in the last 90 days have iterated 12 strong buys. 4 buys, 9 holds, 1 sell, 1 strong sell. And you look at it, and this one over, let's just look 3 years because it's not even, I mean, that's the IPO. That's the rating history. It's never been lower. And it's based on their guidance. That guidance was horrible. The revision here, consensus earnings per share revision. I mean, we're just looking at year-over-year growth. They're not going to start growing until 2030. That's harsh. I mean, that's really harsh. Oh, God, I get a sneeze. Excuse me. Pardon. That's harsh. I mean, that's really harsh. Okay, let me start opening this stuff up. We're going to keep this next to Finviz. And I'm going to go do. Pure storage. Somebody wants me to look at catalysts. Earnings this week. and Seeking Alpha is having its 9 a.m. meltdown where it won't open crap up for me. Top 10 NASDAQ year to date. IWM should not be forgotten. This is a Twitter. I like this article. I do read CNBC from time to time. I don't like their pro. I would much rather have Seeking Alpha. VK TX crypto rally. Coin will be a beneficiary. Larry. Biggest stock movers of the day. This was a great tweet. I'll stop on this one because I'll point it out in the podcast. But this is Dan Ushman. He is the CEO of TrendSpider. He has opened, he's entrepreneur galore. The guy is just tremendous entrepreneur. And he posted this about SMCI. His last business, Single Hop, was a huge Supermicro customer. We had thousands of servers in our racks. They were and probably still are the best server hardware money can buy. Straight up better than Dell, even though Dell was up like 10, 15, I think 30% on Friday. Yet somehow, despite literally unboxing crates of their shit and hanging around the data center for hours helping to rack and wire them up, I didn't even know they were a public company, and I don't own a single share. This tells me Dan does not listen to this podcast. And I know he doesn't. Honest to God, I know he doesn't. So, Dan, I'll look at Disney for you. I'm not going to include it in the podcast, but I'll look before I start the podcast. Let me see. We're going to move this up here. I'm going to move this with this. So we're going to move IWM, which is this one. Okay. Let's go back and look at Disney for you. Morning, Mike. Morning, Jake. Let's look at Disney. Disney's in the core portfolio. It's a stock that's moving. This is going to move on the shareholders. Now, I say that knowing that the value of Disney is crazy with the debt. They unloaded their listen, if Bob Iger were a water tower, that last earnings release, he blew his load. There's nothing left in the tank. I mean, he'd be dry by now. Not to get too. But The problem is that PE of 68, the forward PE of 20, the debt is weighing on this company. West Coast David, high five. 6 a.m. The debt is what's killing this company. And I mean, year to date, it's up 23%. It's up over 1 year, 13%. This is an iconic American company. The insiders, I mean, February 15th, option exercise. There's nothing to speak of insiders, but this is an activist company that's being fought over. Is there opportunity? Yes. But at the end of the day, I don't know why. Like, from a chart standpoint, it's not horrible. You've got this gap up here from 99 to 106. I think at some point in time, you get an opportunity to buy this under 100 again. And I think it really depends on that shareholder. So am I buying more based on this? No. The earnings were what they were, and they were as good as they could be. They threw out there even a gaming with Rockstar Games. I don't see how this goes higher. I mean, with that debt load, I don't see how this goes higher. Understand, there's the debt, there's the Fox deal, and there's this ESPN kind of merger where they're doing a bunch of stuff with Warner Brothers and and Paramount. They didn't even okay that with the leagues. So I don't know that it's necessarily going to go through. I put my old cable executive hat on and I say, okay, you used to get charged $50 a month. I don't know who still subscribes to cable. If you do, oh my fucking God, my rest in peace. Because I think you're about to die because those are the only people who are subscribing to cable these days. But the reality of the situation is that you had hundreds of millions of customers each month paying $50 a month. Just on average, we'll say 50. It was probably closer to 70, but we'll say 50. $25 of that was going to Disney. That has now come down to less than 100 million that are paying for cable services. And Disney Plus shows some promise. Their Hulu acquisition and their Hulu integration, fantastic, gets them on that storyboard. Does not replace the passive income where all they had to do was put this shit on the air and they got hundreds of millions of dollars a month from cable customers. And that pool is shrinking. I don't know how you come back from that when your actual program costs of dealing with these leagues and the sports are actually increasing. So, Dan, I don't want to dissuade somebody from buying into this rally. This is a weekly chart. This rally is strong. Look at how far over that 9-day. Your 50 days just starting to move positive. But your RSI has quickly come to 71. Your MACD has quickly come above the oscillator. That move right there, if we just look at it from its lows of 80, 81, I mean, this touched 83. Okay, we'll say 80. Let's say you bought in at 83. You're up 34% in 4 months. I mean, even less than 4 months. I got to move this back. In 3 months and 3 weeks? I mean, that's, to me, just to get back to the 200-day, you're talking about a 13% move to get back to the 200-day. Am I interested in that? No. The reason being, have I shown you SMCI? That's up 15% today. in pre-market? Have I shown you NVIDIA that's up 3% in pre-market today? That we didn't even come back to retouch this gap. Your support now is 800. This is easily a $1,000 stock if it continues down this path. Have I showed you Qualcomm, which is on a tear? Let's even talk about AMD, which in my mind may be the new NVIDIA. This one may, look at the valuation. If we go to AMD, the PE is 387. The forward PE is 36. Now, we'll go to NVIDIA. The PE is 68. The forward PE is 27. So AMD is more expensive than NVIDIA. But I think people are thinking that AMD is less expensive than NVIDIA. Throw your money in NVIDIA. I mean, it's simple as that. I think this is number one and number two. Now, the problem that you have is, can NVIDIA actually create these I heard a great podcast, and I think it was Josh Brown on his Compound podcast last week. He talked about little been known to, I think, the general market. And I did research this. Jensen Huang on the CEO speech of NVIDIA said that they are moving to a subscription model. That rather than just selling a chip and saying, hey, okay, goodbye, they're going to move to build out Web 2.0, Web 3.0, whichever version we're on right now. And the data centers will become NVIDIA's new revenue source. And so their H100s, the racks that they're putting in. By the way, who's putting them in? SMCI. NVIDIA's building these things. SMCI and Dell are putting in these racks. I mean, do I want to invest in Disney or do I want to invest in the AI? And I think, if we go about it, Apple's got hundreds of millions, if not billions of devices in everybody's hands that can run AI. And if you throw AI, wow. EU hits Apple with $2 billion antitrust fine, alleges abusive app store rules for music streaming apps. That's why it's down 1.28%. That's in the market. Any reaction is an overreaction. Buy Apple at 177. Are you going to make 10% over the next week? Probably not. Are you getting back up to the 200s? Yeah. So when you say, is there more to go? It's a great bounce. Dan, I'm slightly worried that there's no more room to go because he threw everything in with the kitchen sink on that earnings call. So I'm slightly concerned. Let me go. Hold on. I'll be right back, and then I'm going to start the podcast. Okay. If you are here, make sure you're subscribed. I'm here every morning at 8:30. I do a podcast. And have I told you about SMCI? Hold on one second. I got to respond to a neighbor. Okay. Okay. I had to text some folks back. Yes, if you are around, let's look. Okay, we're going to go back to the Qs. I got a lot to go over. So, I'm going to start recording. I just feel like a sneeze is coming on. So, I'm sitting here waiting for... Okay. Good morning. It is Monday, March 4th. First Monday in March. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. First off, I am blonde. So if you're not watching the video, yes, I am blonde. It is not a video. This is not a filter. I got bored this weekend. Changed my hair color. It happens. Get over it. Let's talk about the other elephant in the room. Yesterday, we had a great Zoom meeting, live trading test. Yesterday, if you're on the Daily Stock Pick newsletter, dailystockpick.substack.com, do not go to this link today and think it's happening at 3 p.m. today. We will have a live trading session on Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. It will be on Zoom. If you're a paid member of the newsletter, whether it's monthly, whether it's a founding member, whether it's a yearly, if you're a paying member, you will get an email that includes a link, and that link will be for a Zoom meeting. It's completely interactive. Yesterday, a bunch of people asking me questions. Got to see my weekend. Okay, let me go over my portfolio on the stock charts kind of thing. Let me research some stuff. I do think I will be raising prices again because I looked at people that do live trading. They're charging $500, $600, $800 a year, and it's not even interactive. I'm sitting there with you guys. So I am going to raise the prices of the newsletter. So if you're interested, sign up. It's not that bad. Let me go over my tools because, I think there's some confusion about the tools. So first off, the first tool that I use is TrendSpider. It is not for everybody. It is a technical charting tool. If you like the charts that I do, then TrendSpider is your place. I mean, it's $892 for the year based on the current sale that's going on. You're saving over 50%. That's $74 a month. If you can't make $74 a month to justify in your trading, this tool is not for you. Whether your portfolio is too small, whether your trading is just not enough, the tool is not for you. So understand this tool is for traders. It's also for investors because I talk about, hey, I know that on the downside, I can protect myself by trimming and doing some things. So it's not just the $74 that I have to make. It's the $74 that I save per month. But this tool may not be for you. For the majority of people, I would recommend Seeking Alpha Premium. This is the second link on here where you save $50 off. I think it's $189 for the year. This gives you all the quant ratings. It gives you a portfolio score. It gives you screeners where you can find stocks, hidden gems. It gives you the top stock picks with a strong buy, expert analysis, breaking news. You get access to all of the analysis, all of the top stock picks, all of the breaking news, every article that I do, you can read on your own. $189 a year. For most people, this is the one that I would do. Now, for those that just want two picks a month and to look at a portfolio that is incredibly beating the S&P since July 2022, that's Alpha Picks. And this one, I give you a $50 off coupon. It's $449 for the year. That would be my third tool that I'd say that's the fourth tool because I think the third tool would be the newsletter. And if you go back here, the newsletter is down here. It's the fifth link. It's dailystockpick.substack.com. So in my mind, most people should get Seeking Alpha Premium. I think the second would be TrendSpider. I think the third would be my newsletter. I think the fourth is Alpha Picks. But the fifth, and it's not a distant fifth, but if you don't trade on the Webull app, you're out of your mind. You can get up to 75 free stocks by just clicking this link and signing up. So these are the tools that I use. That doesn't mean that you need to use them. You could have your own charting program. You could like CNBC over Seeking Alpha. I think it's complete junk. You could like Motley Fool over Seeking Alpha. Again, my dad has a subscription to Motley Fool. I know exactly what it is. I think Seeking Alpha is better. For $189, I think it was fantastic. So, and again, if you're a fan of this show, the newsletter for I think it's $139 now for the year. I will be raising that up to $150, probably $160. It may even go up to $200 a year. Depends on how many live sessions that I do. Pavan's on here. Yeah, we talked yesterday with Pavan. He's looking forward to it. If you're working and you can't make 9 a.m. on Wednesday, I am taping the session for you. And like Mike says, this is going to create a nice backlog of actual live trading that you can use to understand support, resistance, how I use the moving averages, how I use VWAP. All of this stuff is in this paid newsletter. In the education section, when to sell stocks, my collaboration with My Weekly Stock. All of this stuff is in the newsletter. If you don't want to sign up for it, at least sign up for the free newsletter. There are different tiers to this thing. So understand, yes, this is all about the markets. It's all about trying to give you an edge. And I got a great email from James in New Zealand who says, hey, he's providing wealth for his family. Yeah, and he's teaching his kids how to trade stocks with this stuff. So he's looking forward to all that stuff. Live trading is something that I just added. You are getting the archives. You get everything in that daily newsletter. So if you want to join on Tuesday, it's $15. I think I upped it to $19 for the month. $19. I mean, that's the price of a Happy Meal these days. So where are we on the Qs? Let's talk about this. The Qs. This is the ETF that I follow, the QQQ. I used to follow SPY. QQQ in my mind, I think this is AI. This is more apt to explode. Look at this channel. And I drew this channel on Friday. We're opening up at about 445 right now. That's right in the middle of this channel. If we are continuing, that is going to be continuing up. You will see I will post a lot of news articles in the newsletter. Everything points to we should continue up. Doesn't mean that every stock is going to go up. Doesn't mean that every day this index is going to go up. It just means that we're in an upward trend. And the MACD isn't extended. The RSI is very high at 68 right now. Remember, RSI is Relative Strength Index. And if you want to know any of these terms, it's all in the paid newsletter. You can go and look it up, how I use each of these. The volume, you're just kind of sitting there. Volume shelves, if we pull back to the beginning of this rally, you got a nice little support level here up at 438. So these are things that I look at where I don't expect us to go down. You have to know that there's news out there that, the bulls are saying we've run too much. Come on. The bulls will always be, or the bears will always be there. They will always be trying to talk you down. Understand, take the news in, take whatever stats they give you, and then you make your own determination. That's what this podcast is all about. Tom Lee, equities in 2024 so far, strong groups get stronger. AI, Ozempic, also stealth rally in the small caps, IWM. He posted this chart. If we look at IWM, I don't follow IWM. I don't believe in IWM. I think IWM, 80% of the companies don't even make money. You have to have a very good situation for IWM to start rallying. It has done well. Understand, it has done really well. This is a 19% gain since October. Yeah, the October lows, 19%. If we extend this out, you're at 25% over 122 days. I'm going to get rid of this because what I want to do is show you the current rally that is in IWM. And that started on February 21st. And you're looking at over 9 days, you're up 5%. In an index, that is phenomenal. This is considered a big rally. And again, like Tom Lee says, there's two main themes. There's AI and there's Ozempic related. So we'll talk about a couple of those as well. This is an interesting one from TrendSpider, again, related to IWM. IWM, if the daily breakout holds, price can move very quickly through these low volume areas. This weekend's newsletter, the paid newsletter, was trading with VWAP. I stealthily include volume weighted average price with these the volume shelves that are over on the right. So it's not like I'm using a VWAP line. I show you how to do anchored VWAP and stuff like that in that newsletter, but I'm using volume just on the volume shelves. We could move, again, look at the low volume on the weekly. We could move, and that could create some volume there. It could move up to that 217 level. Interesting chart. Take a look at it. You will see as we go on and we hit new highs, you will see a lot of this. Carl Quintanilla tweeted this out. Bank of America, we raise our S&P year-end target to 5,400. Margins have held up despite big swings in rates and inflation. Areas of euphoria are thematic and secular. AI, GLP-1. We expect the market to broaden beyond these themes. Understand, S&P 5,400 means SPY at 540. Where are you right now on SPY? You're at 512. You're at 512. If we were to get to 540, let's just take a look at where 540 might put us. $540 is a nice 5% move. What did we just get on IWM? 5% in what, 5 days? So I'm not saying you're going to get up here in 5 days, but I am saying look at that trend. We're moving higher. And as we move higher, we get to record highs. As we get to record highs, you're going to see more notes like this from Bank of America where people are raising their target. Now, what I want you to look at too is I want you to notice who are the biggest contributors to the S&P's run so far. Here's the biggest winners. It's NVIDIA, it's Meta, it's Microsoft, it's Amazon. You get to number 5 and it's Eli Lilly. That's GLP-1. Berkshire Hathaway, huge. Broadcom. I mean, look at AI. Merck is the only one that doesn't really have. Merck has a potential of purchasing. I mean, we can talk about Viking Therapeutics. I think that's what it is. We'll look at that one. That one's a small GLP-1 that probably doesn't have a GLP-1 drug until the end of this decade. And yet it's flying. Who are the detractors? Apple, my biggest holding. I hold Tesla and XLY. Boeing, Intel. I own a bunch of Intel. United Health Group. I got out of that. Adobe, I don't own it, but it's run. Humana, another healthcare. Pfizer, another healthcare. Got a question in the Facebook group. Is Pfizer good for a rebound? No. If you're in this group during this bull rally, don't think that all of a sudden these will turn around. My portfolio is greatly underperforming this year, but I know why. It's Apple. The rest of my portfolio is outperforming. So I do hold a lot of winners. I hold some losers. You can't win them all. I'm in QQQ. I'm in XLK. I'm in some of these ETFs. Understand where your portfolio is. Understand where it's underperforming. And if there's a reason you're underperforming, just make sure you know that reason. My reason, Apple. And the reason I'm underperforming in Apple is because it's so far down. Apple looks weak. If you don't own Apple, I would urge you to take a look at Apple. I don't think that 176, it got hit with a fine today from the EU. Big deal. Any reaction is an overreaction in this market. You don't have strength right now. I'd beg you to start to take a look at this in the 170s. I still think they come out with some type of AI. Remember, there's two themes. There's AI and there's GLP-1. Does Apple do GLP-1? Probably not. They could make a purchase and completely go left on their healthcare stuff. They have that ability with the amount of cash that they have. Probably not going to do something like that. But do they have AI? Yeah, they just haven't announced it. Apple's never the first one to into the market. So I would wait for this one to have some type of confirmation where it's positive. And I would urge you to keep this in your coffer And if you currently hold a position and you want a dollar cost average, I would say do it. And the reason I would say do it is not because right now it's got some strength. It doesn't. But look at this weekly chart and look at what Apple does when it dips down below the 50-day. Now, if that 50-day starts coming closer to this 200-day and we get a death cross, which I can't imagine it happening, the valuation of Apple, remember, you've had a couple of quarters of reducing revenue. They've got to increase their revenue. But when you get this big, that's difficult. It's just a behemoth of a company. So understand where you are. This is a great article. It shows you all what the biggest contributors and detractors from the S&P this year. Speaking of the all-time highs, here's a list of all-time highs. Energy Transfer, Robinhood's in here, Qualcomm's in here, Taiwan Semi, Netflix, Broadcom, American Express, Palantir, Salesforce, Micron. This is a list of everybody who hit a 52-week high at some point in time on Friday. Good list. Shea Boular, I talk about this all the time. Here's his growth portfolio and all the names that are in it. Take a look at it. It's 16 names. 16 names, and they're all doing incredibly well in February. So he is a great one to follow. Let's talk about my favorite stock and how I played this one on Friday and how I broke every rule that I teach. Supermicro and Deckers joined the S&P 500 in the rebalance. Now, SMCI, let's see. It is up. Market just opened 2 minutes ago. This one is coming back down a little bit. If we open up a 5-minute chart, what I'm going to do is show you this in a 5-minute chart with after hours. And the reason I'm going to show you that is because I think it was 4:30, 5 o'clock. The news came out that SMCI would join the S&P 500. I thought that was going to happen. I mentioned that I thought it could happen. There were rumors of this happening. But if we go to a 5-minute chart and we take a look at this, look at that area that's shaded right here between 970 and 980. That is about 5 o'clock where the news started to come out. The stock didn't really react. Now, I said here at about 5:40, I said it's not reacting. But I kind of know this is a big deal. This is a small cap moving up into this is kind of like moving from the minor leagues to the big leagues. And it doesn't mean automatically that it's going to go up. You're seeing it's pulled back right now. The market doesn't, it's saying, hey, it's euphoric. We're going to start to sell for our support. Old resistance turns into new support. So in my mind, I thought buying at 980 was a smart move. It's going to probably see a pop. I think the support level is at 1,000. You're seeing the MACD moving down. You're seeing the RSI quickly on a 5 minutes down at 35. It's oversold right now at 1,022. I think if you get this under 1,000, I think you can buy it under 1,000. Part of this is not based on just, hey, it's going to be hype. Part of this is based on just the forward projections. The forward PE is 30. Supermicro, if we take a look at this, one of the things that I want to look at, by the way, read this article and you'll see how other changes include, and you can look up the history of the S&P. But what I really want to look at is if this, and I'll put stockanalysis.com, I'll put this list. This is the S&P 500. Okay, if we just go down to the other S&P 500 companies that are around 50 billion. And you can do this. I'm not going to do this live because I did this on pre-match, but you can do it yourself. Go to this link that's going to be in the newsletter and go and look. 3M, D.R. Horton, Carrier, MetLife, Ross Stores, Travelers, Public Storage. All of these companies that are around $50 billion in market cap that are in the S&P, all of those companies have hundreds of millions of shares floated. SMCI is 47 million shares floated. They only have 52 million shares in existence. This is a company that has grown up so fast, they didn't even have time to split. So in my mind, one of two things happen. Either they dilute shareholders and they issue a ton more stock at this price, which will absolutely kill the stock, or they split the stock and it comes down. Instead of $1,000, it's now $100 stock. What has happened in the past with that? Go and take a look at Tesla the last time it split. Go and take a look at Apple the last time it split. It is nothing to do with the stock or the valuation. Nothing to do with the stock or the valuation. It just puts in people's mind that they're getting 10 for 1. And it allows the stock to actually have a higher volatility on options. I mean, there's a lot of reasons to do that. So I don't know what's going to happen. I did kind of say, hey, I think it's going to be in the S&P 500. I kind of think a split's coming. I don't know that they're going to dilute. They may dilute. What they've done with the money that they didn't use in December and in February, it's continuing operations. This is a high cost business. You saw what Dell saw. I mean, again, two themes, AI and GLP-1. Supermicro and Dell are both participating in that. In fact, this is Dan Ushman. He's the CEO of TrendSpider. This is a true story, and this is a tweet he put out yesterday. My last business, SingleHop, was a huge Supermicro customer. We had thousands of servers in our racks. They were and probably still are the best server hardware money can buy, the SMCI. Straight up better than Dell and anything else. Yet somehow, despite literally unboxing crates of their crap and hanging around the data center for hours helping to rack and wire them, I didn't even know they were a public company, and I don't own a single share. You're listening to this podcast. I have been telling you. Dan doesn't listen to this podcast. Dan and I tweet back and forth. I've never met Dan, never spoken to Dan. If Dan were listening to this podcast, he'd know to buy Supermicro at $200 and you 5 times your money. Yes, and Supermicro is coming back. Again, it's at $1,045. If you get a chance, buy this under $1,000. That is my gift to you. And yes, I do think that we see something. Let's talk about some of the biggest movers today. Macy's. I said, hey, Macy's under $20 makes sense. It's way over 20 now because Bridget Management Capital upped their offer. Let's see where Macy's is. I think it was at 22 or something. Let's see. Macy's is at $21. Great move. It is up 16% this morning. 16%. They're going to up their offer again. Yeah. Other big movers, crypto. I mean, Coinbase up by 8.7%. Riot up 5%. Mara up 7%. MicroStrategy up 7.7%. You know why Bitcoin hit 65,000? Legendary Jim Cramer said it was a scam. Whatever, Jim Cramer. If Bitcoin, this is from TrendSpider, if Bitcoin makes a run to all-time highs this week, set up for Coin looks prime. I mean, Coin looks prime. Let's see where Coin is. This is not, I don't own this one. I don't have it in the core portfolio. Coin is up at 217. It is up 5% today. I said this was support at 192. This is your support level at 192. That is support. Old resistance becomes new support. That is your support. They had their earnings. They're completely overbought. Bitcoin continues to rally. Coinbase continues to go. Interesting. CNBC posted a great article, and this is Viking Therapeutics, VKTX. This is one with a GLP, VKTX, Viking Therapeutics. This is a weight loss drug, and I'm going to post two things. There's a video from Twitter on Viking Therapeutics, on Mad Money. No, it's Fast Money on Friday. And then there's an article. Viking Therapeutics emerges as a strong weight loss drug player or takeover target. That's the key. Now read this article. And the reason I say read this article, it's free. You don't have to, it's not a Seeking Alpha article. It's a CNBC article that's free to read. GLP-1, two themes, AI and GLP-1. This is a company that came out with positive stuff on GLP-1. Now, GLP-1, this is the weight loss stuff. This will not have a GLP-1 product until the end of this decade at the earliest. At the earliest. It is up another 5% today. Let's see, 5.861. This is a company that was trading at $20 back in January. It's at $90 right now. Just based on, they're not making money. It is hype, but if a company like Merck, if a company like Pfizer has enough money, they can buy this company. VKTX, let's look at it. The market cap is going to be enormous. It's $8.56 billion. Is that crazy to think that a company may buy a GLP-1 company that is in advanced trial stages for the drug? No. They've got that amount of money sitting on the sidelines. That would not be a crazy thing to think that this gets taken over at that valuation. Say it's $11 billion. They may have to pay $15 billion for this company. That would help you as a shareholder. So understand, that's what you're dealing with GLP-1 drugs. So VK, it's VKTX if you want to look it up. Here's the top 10 performers in the NASDAQ 100 this year. Top 10 performers in the NASDAQ 100. Number 10, Broadcom. Number 9, Netflix. Number 8, Marvell. Number 7, Applied Materials. Number 6, ASML. Notice anything about this? It's GLP-1. GLP-1 isn't even included. DoorDash. I mean, you're talking about weight loss drugs. DoorDash, people are getting their food delivered. This is up 30% this year. AMD, Meta, Constellation Energy Corporation, CEG is up 43%. NVIDIA, energy. There's certain portions of energy that's working. We'll look at that. Earnings this week. I'll include this. C Limited came out, and C Limited is up 10%. I mean, they blew away earnings. There's a couple of things. Let me see. Earnings this week. Did I write down? No. The next article, if you're interested in playing earnings, here's a good article to look at, JD.com. Costco on Thursday. Friday is Genesco. You can take a look at this article. It's got kind of the highlights of the earnings this week. But the one I really want you to read is the Catalyst Watch for this week. And I wrote down a couple of things. So Monday, today, we have NVIDIA and we have Netflix reporting at the Morgan Stanley conference. That's big. Does Netflix come out and say, hey, we've still got more password sharing to crack down on. So we think that there's more revenue out there. Could push the stock back to all-time highs at 700. Remember, Netflix is not at all-time highs. Netflix is this was a pandemic winner that got beaten down after the pandemic because everybody thought people were going to unsubscribe. Well, guess what? They didn't unsubscribe. You've still got room to go to this $700 all-time high. It's at 618. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Get in this one before it gets back here. It will get back to $700. It just will get back to $700. Another catalyst watch is NVIDIA. They're going to report at the Morgan Stanley conference today. Do they say something again about, hey, we're just at the beginning? That could boost NVIDIA stock again. Tuesday, you have CrowdStrike and Target earnings. You have PanW, AMD presenting at the Morgan Stanley conference. Plus, SMCI reports at the KeyBank Emerging Technology Conference. So you've got tons and tons of catalysts just today and Tuesday. Target, I think Target's not a bad one. I pulled it out of the core portfolio, but I still own it. Remember, Walmart, Walmart's doing really well. Is Target? I haven't been to, full disclosure, I haven't been to a Target in a little while. I do still shop on a Target app. I like the Target app. I really do. You still have about 10% until you get back to the 200-day. 50-day on the weekly hasn't even moved positive. Now, it's a little bit overbought. I think, at 152, I think it's $170 stock. I think you get back to 170, which is about the 200-day. That will provide some resistance. Absolutely, it will provide some resistance. You can see right around 170. If I just put a line at 170, let's go to 170. Let's put a line here, and we'll just go to 170. Right there. Look at that line. I mean, the VWAP right here, if we go back to the all-time highs, okay? We're going to go back to all-time highs and see where the volume really is. The all-time highs were here in November 20. Look at where the top shelf is. It's at about 170. I mean, that's where people are holding. I think that's where you get to with Target. I don't trust the management yet, but this earnings, play it. Play it on earnings. I mean, again, play it on earnings. You can do that. Wednesday, Google, Intel, Shopify, and Uber presenting at the Morgan Stanley conference. I think Google's a little bit of a broken company. I would be very wary of Google. I would not be entering Google. I would wait for some type of strength. They've got some situations with their AI where they're really getting hammered on this one. Intel, if Intel doesn't mention AI, it's just not an Intel conference. I think you come back up to this gap, and I think you fill it up to 49. I'm holding $25,000 worth of Intel at about 46. I think is where I bought it. So I think Intel's a good one. Shopify, I've said it before. Get this one when it's under 80. It's at $75. It's down 1.87%. You really don't have a lot of strength, but the algorithm got you in at 77. Probably will get you out soon. But there's no reason for it to necessarily. Look at the MACD. The MACD's down. Uber. I've said this before. Get Uber while it's under 80. It's at 81 right now. Just buy it. If you don't have a position in Uber, I think this is just one that's going to go up. Costco, which is in the core portfolio, it's at $7.59. It's an $800 stock. Do they announce some type of, maybe a membership raise? That's an $800 stock on a membership raise. They raise remember, these guys don't make their money on margins per se. They make their money on membership fees. So Costco, Broadcom, AVGO. This is one that is just going to go bonkers on AI. This is one of the biggest contributors to the gains this year. If we go and we look at AVGO on FinViz, you can see it's PE 42. Forward PE is not crazy at 24. Year to date, you're up 24%. Over 1 year, you're up 132%. This is a good company with good products, with good earnings, and good management. And it's not crazy at a forward PE of 24.9. If we go over to Seeking Alpha and we look up Broadcom, we'll see the ratings on this one. I haven't even looked this up, to be honest with you. I'm just kind of winging this. So AVGO, strong buy from an analyst today. One of the Seeking Alpha analysts, Dyer, says strong buy. The valuation is the F. Don't worry about the valuation. The quant says hold. Wall Street says buy. Let's look. You've got an 11.5% downside to the average price target. Now, what has this price target done? It's kind of been hanging under. So you do have some hype in this one. But I do think, it's 11 out of 65 in the semiconductor industry. What's the number one? Qualcomm, core portfolio holding. Qorvo is number 2. You can look at NVIDIA, number 7. But Marvell, number 15. Intel, number 14. Taiwan Semi, core portfolio at number 12. So there's a lot of opportunities in here. Thursday, this is Thursday's earnings. Thursday, too, Rivian. They will announce their R2. This is the R2 pickup. There was some discussion of this one. I still don't think this is a good stock. This is a broken stock. When you announce that you will produce as many vehicles as you did last year, you don't get the benefit of a growth multiple. And right now, Rivian has a growth multiple. They're not announcing forward PE. So there's no forward PE. Let's see what Rivian, let's look at their financials. Because if we go to, let's say valuation, that's what we want. We want valuation. Now, they don't give any forward stuff. So I have a problem with that. The sector median 14, they're way above the sector. It's a broken stock. Now, Wall Street has it as a buy. The reason they have it as a buy is they just haven't redone their thing. Look, it's just this is a falling knife. So yes, I think this is a $30 stock at some point in time, but it's going to take a long time. I don't want you to have dead money in this one. It's at $10. They will announce the earnings. Just understand production of that vehicle won't start until 2026 at the earliest. At the earliest. I live in Georgia. Their plant isn't even under construction. So, yeah. Yeah, and Powell, by the way, testifies today in front of Congress on Wednesday and Thursday this week. So you got tons and tons of catalysts. Matthew Grossman from Spotify, here's our social request, asked me to look at ASML. This is ASM Holdings. This is another semiconductor company. I mean, it's in the theme. AI, GLP-1. Let's go over here. We'll go to ASML. They're in the semiconductor equipment materials. I think these guys make the equipment. Engages development, production, marketing, sales, upgrading, and servicing of advanced semiconductor equipment. So in order to make, for Taiwan Semi and Intel to create the fabs, these guys create that equipment. This is ASML. That's my understanding of it. I'm not the best at this. I don't own this stock, so I'm not an expert in it. I mean, your average target price, 953. You're trading at 995. But again, there's two themes in this. There's AI and GLP-1. ASML in Seeking Alpha, if we look at this one. ASML, boom, boom, boom. We'll look at this. It is a hold. I mean, it's the valuation. Again, it's the valuation. I'd rather see you in SMCI. I'd rather see you in NVIDIA. If you're going to play the AI stuff. But I'm not going to say get out of this one, because if you're trading this one, look, year to date, this one is up, 31%? Great move. JWD, TRVI. What is TRVI? Let's see. Trevi Therapeutics. 52-week low on December, approaching 52-week high. Earnings in March, large buy orders recently, and a good quant rating. I'm up over 100%. Watch it carefully. I can't see a reason to sell at this point. I mean, I don't know anything about this. Chart looks great. I mean, if you're up 100% on this, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. If it's in GLP-1 or AI, I mean, this is a biotech. They're not making money. I can tell you why to sell it, because they ain't making money. You get one bad reading on a test result or something, yeah, you're out. I mean, the average price target is $7.53. Nobody's covered this one since last year. B. Riley covered it. Insiders, they're selling. I mean, they're not selling in huge dollars, thousands. It's got a 40 million share float. It's only 2% short. I can't see why you sell it either. But I mean, play the chart. I'm not a biotech guy, so good for you, JWD. The great move. Hey, Gary, thoughts on Target? Target, I'm holding through holdings decks. I don't see why you get rid of it. I mean, I'm not getting rid of. It's not a falling knife anymore. It's got some support at 130. It's at 150. Do I think it's going down to 130? No. I think the economy's strong. I think the consumer's strong. I think Target's a good play. Again, Algo has you in. Algo has you in at 143, and it's solidly moving. I don't think we see the type of losses that we've seen in the past. I do know the CEO will be on CNBC tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock as they announce earnings. You don't do that if you're going back down to 100. If you're announcing that, hey, there's something really wrong, you don't announce on CNBC. 151, it's down 2% today. I think it's just been in a run. I think you see some support here at about 141. I think Target's fine. Alex, can you please take a look at Whirlpool, WHR, as a long-term play from my dividend portfolio? I hate dividends, Alex. You and I disagree on this one. You love dividends. I hate dividends. Why would you invest in a falling knife? I mean, Whirlpool is a falling knife right now. There is nothing good about this stock. Look, I mean, unlike Target, you haven't found a bottom. You just haven't. Look at where it was before COVID. This was a $146 stock. I think you get back there, but I don't know enough about the business to say absolutely you get back there. I don't own one Whirlpool appliance in my house. I just don't. It's a P of 12, a forward P of 7. Year to date, you're down 12. Why in a bull market would you want to put money into Whirlpool that is down 12% when the market's up 12%? I mean, that's a 24% swing. So why would you want to do that? I just don't understand why you would want to do that. It's a trailing 12 months, 8.2% dividend. It's not guaranteed. If they continue to go down and they have to put more money into the business, you're going to get diluted on that. They're going to take away that dividend. So I'm just not a fan, Alex. If you are a fan of Whirlpool, great. I just, in my mind, I can't do it. Aaron Rooney, Pure Storage. Thanks for all the great info. Well, ironically, there is a a look at, if you just go over here and we look at recent posts, I think it was President's Day or something. Brandon was so nice in providing a, President's Day. Special look at Pure Storage. I did this. It was prior to earnings, fundamental analysis. So, Aaron, go and look. This is a free newsletter. It is from February 19th. Do your own research. This is just a pure, how do you do your own research? This is it. This is how you do your own research. This is what it says. I think when I said conclusion, I don't think I put it in here, but I think it was around a $42. I thought it was worth $46. But I think it wound up even shooting past that. Let's see. PSTG. Because Brandon wanted to look at this. Yeah, you're $55. I said it, that I think the volume shelf at 36. I think 36 was the support level. I said at 42, I think you could go up. Just incredible earnings. And now you're shooting at 55. Does this one deserve 55? I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to go back and do the entire look, but you're at all-time highs. You've got some rallies here. You're still not at the volume that you were here on January 1st. You're half the volume here on February, but VWAP close to 36. I think without the earnings, it's a $36 stock. I mean, with the earnings, you're at 55. So it was great. I think you go to the newsletter to look at that one. Peter from email, firstly wanted to get your look at AXON. Let me type in AXON real quick because it's got an email and the screenshot that I took is not all that great. It's Axon Enterprise. It's been in an upward trend for quite some time, but wanted to get your worth. TrendSpider shows weakness in the coming months on seasonality widget. Also, a general question about your position on bear markets. When things start to really slide, to just tend to hold on to your positions for the long term or sell out of most of them when the market is really showing weakness. We'll take a look at the Axon first. Axon, they've had their earnings and they pumped up. I mean, right now it's got strength. I don't know why you'd look to get out of this one into strength. AXON, let's see, what do they do? Aerospace and defense. I mean, industrials and aerospace and defense has just been crazy. This is up here 22%. Your average price target is 309. You're trading at 315. I mean, you do have to be careful at these. Look, the PE is at 136. The forward PE is at 55. People are getting into this name. You can see Morgan Stanley. I mean, take that price target with a grain of salt because it doesn't look like a bunch of people have upped their price target anytime recently. Look at the sales. I mean, they're all selling at about 250 at big dollar amounts too. You're looking at $8 million. November, $8 million at 217. You're at 251. Now you're at 315. These guys are selling at decent levels. I mean, $8 million is nothing to blink at on January 2nd from the president. The CPO and CTO, he's selling a bunch. And that's not even $8 million. The president sold a bunch. This Joshua Eisner, let's look. He sold, that's about 10, 15 million bucks right there. So he sold a bunch. And he hasn't sold a bunch since the previous year. Looks like he sold, he's selling a pretty good lots, but you're at 315. So Peter, I don't know why you'd sell it, but Axon, not a bad, pretty good pick. General question about bear market. So when things really start to slide, what do I do? This is personal. I mean, remember, the key point is you have to sleep at night. What I do shouldn't matter to you. It's about portfolio management. And what you do is not going to be what I do. Let's take Apple, for instance. I mean, Apple is a key point. It is down 2.5% at 174. I told you guys, I sold in my retirement account in the 190s, 195 when it hit there. We saw some resistance in the 190s, the high 190s. I said, let me just trim. When I say trim, I'm selling 3 shares. I have 20,000 shares, 10,000. I don't know how many shares I have. Tens of thousands of shares, and I'm selling 3. I'm selling 5 at 195. I'm not getting out of the name. This is when you see the market turn, this is just a correlation for the market. When I see this stuff turn, and am I getting out? No. I still believe you have to believe in the story. And so the story, there's a difference between trading and investing. If you believe in the story, and by the way, the market is a story. Make no mistake, the market is a story. It's nothing more than a story. If you believe in the long-term ability of the market to make money, then you shouldn't look at a bear market as, oh shit, I've got to get out. You should look at it as, oh shit, I've got to get in. Now, you should be trimming 52-week highs. There's a great newsletter, and I did this with my weekly stock. And we gave you guys, and it was free. It's a collaboration with my weekly stock. When to sell stocks. Take a look at that. That's when you sell stocks. This is a pattern of, hey, when do you sell stocks? And I gave you 5 reasons. I think he gave 5 reasons when to sell. You can look at that kind of stuff. This is portfolio management. When to buy is one thing. When to sell is another. The time to buy, remember the goal is to buy low, sell high. What does that mean? When you get to news catalysts, when you get to all-time highs, buy low, sell high. There is no secret to this sauce, but it is personal. When you feel uncomfortable and you lose sleep, if you wake up in the middle of the night because AXON is at 52-week highs, and you wake up in the middle of the night, or you can't go to sleep because you're thinking about that, sell. Just sell. Am I worried? Have I lost sleep on Apple going from 190 to 174? Nope. Still hold tens of thousands of shares in both my brokerage and my retirement accounts. Just, hey, it's part of the business. Part of the thing. Look at the long term. The story is still there. The absolute story is still there. It's just an opportunity to buy. So, let's look at Parthenic. Can you look at GCT, Giga Cloud Technology? Is it a hold sell at this price? I don't know. Let's see. GCT, let's look at the chart. I think this one's been on a tear. Yeah, this one's on a tear. Look at that. That's support right there. You've got, clearly it's support right there. I don't know if it's a buy, hold, or sell. You want to hold into earnings? Those earnings are going to be, the expectations are super high. But I don't know enough about the stock to say buy, hold, or sell. We can look at Seeking Alpha, and you should be over in Seeking Alpha. Look, the quant says strong buy. Wall Street says strong buy. March 2nd. Michael Wiggins, strong buy. Why I'm still holding. There's tons of articles out there. So Parsnick, I don't know. I don't know the company well enough. 1 year, you're up 724%. Year to date, you're up. We're at March 4th, and you're up 125%. Again, there's 2 themes. There's AI and there's GLP-1. And this is a cloud storage company. This is part of AI. My assumption is this is part of AI. Ranked in industry 1 of 5. These are distributor stocks. So AANT, GCT, I don't know. They've got it as a strong buy. So I'd have to agree. I've written that one. Disembodiment on Reddit. Currently, AI is being used as a broad term that essentially applies to any new tech promising advanced products and services capable of making our current technology run at its most efficient. Exercise caution chasing the AI hype. This is important, and he's 100% right. I'm not saying don't exploit it. There's great opportunities out there, but there are very few small cap companies in the AI space that show anything indicative of long-term promise. Seems like everyone is co-opting the term to push their tech or even just tech-adjacent brand. That's brilliantly said. Understand, AI and GLP-1, those are buzzwords for CEOs to pump their stock. I believe and this is disembodying, SIMO and ONTO. So SIMO, and he's obviously done his research. You know, do your own research in this stuff. But understand, SICM and ONTO, this looks like a great stock. I mean, that chart, how can you argue? Stock looks solid. I mean, that looks solid. Oh, by the way, they're going to grind a stump out here, so you're going to hear some noise in the background. But ONTO, great looking stock chart. Both great looking stock chart. And then Grubby SD, Simo, very bullish. Their new enterprise chip, Montanian, should do very well with the explosion in AI infrastructure. Great one. Bisco from Spotify. Dell earnings bode well for SMCI. Seems like HPA is losing share to those two. SMCI website has a video from a YouTuber that let tour, and he does a great job explaining competitive differences. Go and check it out. Bisco, I don't know if you can send me the link on one of the social platforms. I couldn't find it, but if you could, send me that link. Steven Nielsen, could you do Taiwan Semi? Could Taiwan Semi be the next Supermicro? No. Taiwan Semi is not the next Supermicro. Taiwan Semi is Taiwan Semi. The issue, Taiwan Semi would be a $200 stock if the invasion of China, if the invasion of Taiwan were not there. They are opening up plants in Phoenix. They are opening up new fab plants in Japan. They are trying to get out of Taiwan. Ironic, Taiwan Semi is trying to get out of Taiwan. This one still has room to go. Look at that MACD on the 4-hour. We just crossed up again. You had a nice little capitulation here. This one's off to the races. It's up 4% today. This one's not crazy to think that this could continue to run. And I am sorry about the noise. But TSM, market cap of $721 billion, PE of 26, forward PE of 18. They are making the chips for AI. Solid move. So there's a couple of scans. Just understand, if you've made it this far, you want to get the newsletter. I am not going to go over these scans. Meta, Disney, Exxon, Taiwan Semi, Oxy, XLE, OAH, LNG, Fiverr, Enphase, LRCX, Rivian, AMAT, Realty Corporation, AMZN, Old Dominion. There's a bunch of ones. When I say scans, what I do is every morning, and this is why you subscribe to the free newsletter, I go into this market scanner, and I use this scan, and you get this scan when you sign up for TrendSpider. And I can scan the core portfolio. And the core portfolio says Disney, SMCI, Meta, Taiwan Semi, and Costco. On the current candle, all of these show bullish tendencies in the 4-hour algorithm. So that's what you want to do. You want to take a look at the end of the newsletter, and it has scans. Those are bullish. So I'm going to hang up now because the noise is bothering me, so I'm sure it's bothering you. And the dogs are barking. There's absolute mayhem going on over here. This, by the way, this is what the live trading session is going to be. The absolute mayhem will continue to go on through the live trading session. So become a paid member of the newsletter. Again, I went over all the tools, but the paid members will do live trading at 9 a.m. on Wednesday. I'll be there. It's completely interactive. It's on Zoom. So you'll get to interact with me. If you've ever wanted to talk to me, you know, again, founding members, I think it's a $400 a year to become a founding member of the newsletter. That allows you to schedule a one-on-one with me, and I go over it all the time. Well, just to become a monthly, now you get a one-on-one. It's not a one-on-one. There's a couple hundred other people that are probably going to be on there with you. But 9 a.m., if you can't make it at 9 a.m., do not worry. If you're a paid member and you want to email me a time that you can make it, maybe I can make it. Maybe I can make it sometime in the future during that time. But again, I'm trying to make this as interactive as possible so that I provide value to the paid newsletter subscribers. These are the people who support me. If you know a friend who's a creator, that's how we get support. So whatever I can do for you, you just need to ask. So I am at your disposal. And the dogs are currently barking. So I'm going to go. I will be back tomorrow. Take care. I'll talk to you later. Bye. John, I did not go over Cardinal Health, but it is the... My dad owns Cardinal Health, and I haven't been a fan. And then all of a sudden, Alpha picks it. Let's look at the strategy tester at Cardinal Health. I mean, Alpha picks it, and it's just gone up since then. because I don't know this space, I mean, I would say your 104, 105 would be exactly where I would say get in. I think this current run, we've had our earnings. I can't imagine that the next catalyst of March 28th, the ex-dividend date, is anything that I really want to run into, because you're looking at you're at your all-time highs, your 52-week highs, all-time highs, at 114. Your average target price is 115. I mean, why would I want to run in at all-time highs? So, John, I don't know enough about Cardinal Health to think that this is. I mean, when you look at Alpha Picks, this is not going to be the end all. This is not going to be another SMCI. At least in my opinion, it won't. Watch, it's going to become a $200 stock by the end of the year. Performance over 1 year, you're up 53%. Performance half the year. There's enough analysts that put in, like February 26th, 125. January 3rd, 117. You're already at 114. So, Cardinal Health is the bull of the day. I mean, it is up 0.4%. Drug distributor and provider of services to pharmacies. They have it as a strong buy at Zacks. I'm not a fan of Zacks. I hate Zacks. Let's look at this. Cardinal Health is Alpha Picks this month. Strong buy, hold from Wall Street. It's at 113. The average target price is 113. You can see how it hugs the downside of this average target. Yeah, Eli. I mean, I can't tell you when to sell stocks. Morning, Brandon. I can't tell people when to sell stocks. I just can't. I mean, people tell me I'm crazy for holding Apple. I don't think so. I still go to sleep at night. Am I going to lose money? Absolutely, I'm going to lose money. Long term, am I going to make money? Yeah. Would my money be better off working in something else? Probably. I don't trust myself. A perfect example, Eli, is SMCI. Okay? SMCI, and I hate using it as an example, but this is just the market overall.